Hello, welcome to a brand new day of free-to-play here on Magic the Gathering Arena. Get the dish on the latest with me, Lord Rumfish. I like turtles. Do you like turtles? There's this turtle called Bedrock Tortoise. Came out in Lost Caverns of Ixalan. It is a 0/6 for 4, but each creature you control with toughness greater than its power assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. So this is actually a 6/6 for 4. And as long as it's your turn, creatures you control have hexproof. So, if you're the one doing the attacking, you're in the driver's seat, then your creatures have hexproof. No Wandering Emperor exiles, things like that. They have to wait till their turn to do that. This seems like a pretty solid creature to me, all the way around. I don't like relying on one king card to turn the deck on, though, but, as it happens, I tried a similar deck called Tough Love some time ago, because there's another card that has the second bit of text on this tortoise, Ancient Lumberknot. Ancient Lumberknot is just not as good of a card. It's also just an uncommon. This is a 1/4 treefolk that has the same line of text here. Each creature you control with toughness greater than its power assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. This means that we've got a redundant effect. The Lumberknot's only going to be a 4/4 for 4, which is not that exciting, but it's another card that turns on the rest of the deck. And because it's so crucial that we're turning the deck on in the first place, I'm going to run the whole playset. There's another turtle in the deck. It's actually from the new set, the Pride of Clade. Even though this is a Toughness Matters deck, this is not a Defender Matters deck. So I'm only running one copy of the Pride of Clade here. We don't have a lot of ways to turn on defender creatures to be able to attack. So, Pride of Clade is mostly here as a bit of an oddity. It can cause itself to attack, and then it could deal 15 damage to the opponent from a bit of help. And drawing 15 cards could put us at threat of decking, but not if the opponent's dead. The only other creature in the deck that has Defender is Concealing Curtains, and we can pay 3 to transform the curtains to where it gains Menace, and we can make the opponent discard a card and draw. With a sort of a pilfer effect. So yeah, there's not a lot of defenders in the deck, so it's not crucial that we're able to get defenders to attack. Another way we could deal 15 to the opponent, though, is with this Catapult Fodder. At this point, I've only included one copy in the deck because this is not what the deck's about anymore. This is straight up a beatdown deck. Catapult Fodder is like a secondary objective where it could give us some reach, later in the game if for whatever reason our creatures aren't able to crash in effectively. But this is like a fallback plan. We're not going with it as plan A. So the beatdown starts a little slow because we can't turn it on until turn 4, really. So turn 1 we're playing like 0/4s that might even have Defender. Turn 2 we're going to be playing things like 1/4s, 0/4s. This one has Vigilance. The Reality Chip could beat down for us. It could also give us some long game value, if that's a thing we want to do. Gold-Forged Thopteryx is a flying lifelinker. So this can be a 3/3 flying lifelinker that gives further protection to our legendary permanents. And that's pretty good. If we can be attacking for 3 lifelink in the air with a 2-drop, that's probably worth the trouble. Soulless Jailer is a piece of tech that we get to run in this deck. So aside from being like a 4/4 beater for 2 mana, permanent cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield. And that means that if the opponent casts Breach the Multiverse, everyone's going to mill 10 cards, but nothing's going to come back. It's just going to stay right where it's at. Similarly, if the opponent discards a permanent card, like the new Sphinx, and they try to reanimate it, it's not going to come back either. There's also a second line of text on this card, which is a little weird. Players can't cast non-creature spells from graveyards or exile. And this will randomly shut off some things. Creature spells can still be cast this way. But there are a lot of exile shenanigans going on in the format, so we might catch somebody with the second ability on here sometimes as well. But yeah, the first mode on the card should shut down Breach the Multiverse and Squirming Emergence. So if they're not able to remove the Jailer, then graveyard stuff gets kind of shut off. Annex Sentry gives us a little bit of removal, and also a 4/4 beater. Akal Pakal gives us a 5/5 beater, which, when we play artifacts, and we do have some, there's the Annex Sentry, the Thopteryx, the Soulless Jailer. Then we get to draw cards. We look at the top 2 cards of the library, put one into the hand, the other into the graveyard. It doesn't even say draw a card, so Sheoldred won't be shocking us for using Akal Pakal. This only happens at the end step, if an artifact entered the battlefield under our control. Still, it's going to be a 5/5 beater. Geralf, Visionary Stitcher. So, in addition to being a 4/4 beater himself, he gives zombies flying, and that wouldn't matter so much except we can make zombies by paying a blue and sacking a non-token creature. And it's XX, where X is the sacrificed thing's toughness. In a Toughness Matters deck, Geralf seems like a definite include. I just like him in general. He protects your creatures in a similar fashion to Skrelv, but where Skrelv is all offense, Geralf is all defense. You can sacrifice something that the opponent wanted to clear out as a blocker, and now you have another giant zombie blocker. So the opponent actually has to get rid of Geralf. The Catapult Fodder, of course, can turn from a 5-power beater into a 6-power beater. And it gets the ability of 3 and tap, sack another creature. Target opponent loses life equal to its toughness. This only happens if you have 3 or more creatures that have toughness greater than power at the beginning of combat. But that's not hard to do in this deck. Preacher of the Schism is a Death Toucher, which can draw us cards and produce 1/1s. It's just all around a good, solid chunk of creature here. Mutagen Connoisseur is a 5/5 flying vigilance creature. Its power can pump up for transformed permanents, but that's not why it's here. It's just here for its basic stat line. Raffine is a 4/4 flyer with Ward 1 that can pump our creatures when they attack, and that pumps toughness as well as power. So Raffine's about as good here as she is anywhere else. We've even got a lifelinker that we can throw counters onto. And that's basically the deck there. The mana base, We've got a 4-color deck. We've got the channel lands, 1 of each basic. We've got pain lands. We've got fast lands. Because we do actually want to hit our land drops and get them untapped in a timely manner, we can afford a few tap lands down here because they fix our mana so well. But for the most part, we want to get creatures on the field, hit turn 4, and then start slamming in for a ton of damage. Let's see if we can do it. We're up against Nick 64. Looks like a reasonable hand here. Obviously, it's terrible that the opponent's going first, but you do what you can. Veteran, that could be life gain. That could be the horrific Boros deck. Double white. Could be life gain. Could be angels. Could be clerics. Looks like a life gain deck. I don't think anyone would play Ruin Lurker bad unless they were doing life gain. Let's see. So I will run out the Swamp and the Jailer. Okay, there's an angel. Let's see, if I play the Annex Sentry second, I actually draw a card off of Akal Pakal. So I think that's the order to do it in here. It'll be bad if they get an angel, of course. I don't think they're going to gain enough life this turn, though. Alright. Can I not tap the green, please? We'll take the Resplendent Angel. And we'll play the Pride of Clade. Alright. I'll get a choice of land here, or a Concealing Curtains. I think I need the land. Just at the moment. Yep, they can still attack with the bat. So this is kind of an odd card to run in a standard deck. Panic Bystander. So whenever this or another creature you control dies, you gain 1 life, which is the same on the flip side. And then at the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life, you transform it. I can pay black mana to give it Death Touch, otherwise it's just big. And it gains life when things die that you control. Alright, well, let's double spell here. Get down the Concealing Curtains. And we'll play the Bedrock Tortoise. And I guess it'll be no attacks this turn. Raffine will give us some flying defense. And some offensive power. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Thopteryx. Lifelink matters a lot to me right now. You know what? We don't really have much else to do. Let's see what's in their hand. Sure. Get rid of it. Maybe I'll draw a land. We do not have Raffine out just yet. I don't think I want to risk the tortoise. We'll say no attacks. Ah! I guess I'll get a pain-free source here. Might end up discarding it to Raffine anyway. Alright, another bystander. Oh, they're gonna force me to block. They're gonna make me chump because they gave it double strike. Well, that's kind of crappy. That's kind of crappy. I really wanted to keep this lifelinker around. I guess they know it's valuable. Alright, but here's Raffine. Still big enough to block. And they're just going to scoop it up. We are up against a opponent whose name I currently do not understand how to pronounce. And I'll keep it. Okay, go ahead and play the Goshintai of Lost Wisdom, that might confuse them. Oh, they're this deck. We'll see if Soulless Jailer can stay on the table here. Alright, here's a land. Here's the Jailer. No attacks yet. Don't have green mana yet, but Raffine could let us attack anyway. Yeah, if you can get rid of the Soulless Jailer, you really have to. Otherwise, it just kind of turns your deck off. Alright, Archaeologist. A Gaze. Oh, another Soulless Jailer. I feel like that could really trip them up here. If they thought they could get rid of one, but they can't get rid of two, I think I keep setting up. Okay, so I've been curious if Soulless Jailer shuts that down. I think it does. Okay. Alright. We are up against an opponent whose name I do not know how to pronounce. At the moment. Colors are a little bit off, but close enough. Go ahead and get the Thopteryx down and gain some life. Gala Greeters. Would I like to take that off the table? Maybe. Would slow him down quite a bit. Kodama of the West Tree. It does have reach. Alright. Well. Let's just play a couple things here. Say no attacks. I think I'll let this one through. Tovolar? I haven't seen Tovolar in an age. Okay, there's what I've been looking for. Is this threatening lethal here? I think it is. They have to block. That tramples. Oh no, it doesn't. It just has vigilance. They might still be able to cheese me out here. We'll find out. Okay. They got the tortoise. They've got Helena and Elena. Let's see. All their stuff tramples, but that would leave me at 1 life. As long as I get one of my 7 toughness pump creatures, then that's game. It is not. It is not one of those. Which means that they win. We're up against Garibaldo. I'll keep it. It's a red duck. Alright. Soulless Jailer should be a pretty good blocker here. Okay, they're going into the sky. That's fine. I can take to the air as well. Okay, what you doing with Chandra?
I didn't come here to fight.
This is at sorcery speed here.
You're lucky this is a warning shot.
Okay. Ancient Lumberknot. And let's go ahead and kill Chandra.
Just when I was having a good time.
Oh yeah. Use whatever pump spells you wanna. Suits me. Alright. Land. Where are you going? We were having fun over here. We're up against Iruka. As long as we get to 3, the hand looks like it could play. Unfortunately, we're up against the fastest deck in Standard on the draw, which is not good. Let's see, do we need green mana here? Not yet. I guess I will play the Shintai. Might confuse them. Make them think we're a shrine deck. Yeah, reinforcements. So usually in the early turns they want to be convoking and stuff. But they could just start going wide to swing. No, they're convoking. That's what they're up to. There's a recruiter. Running out their nice boring game plan here. Okay, here's caves. So I guess the question is, do I play a Raffine or do I play an Initiate and a Jailer? I think I go wide. Frustrate them with blockers. Yep. Here's the tortoise. No attacks. Could really use a lifelinker here. Could be a little dicey. Let's see, kill all of those. And one of these? Sure. Alright. So I think we go ahead and take a piece off the board over there. I can just make it the token creature. Do I start the clock? Sure. Okay. If they're not careful here, I can threaten lethal. Let's see, it'll deal 1 damage to me. I can block the 6/6. Leaves them taking 16. Oh, they're dead. They're dead. Just start discarding whatever. They're dead. So this is a janky deck, but there are some ways you could improve its consistency. When you have access to this many colors of mana, you could put in some card draw to smooth things out. You could put in some things that are able to fetch up creatures for you, because you really need the Bedrock Tortoise and or the Ancient Lumberknot. You really need these to make your game plan work. Just because you have 8 copies in the deck doesn't mean you'll get one, and if you get one, the opponent might remove it still. You need to find more. There are a couple of creatures you could test out in the deck to get more lifelink. Phyrexian Missionary would not be a bad one, but there's another one which is potentially better for this deck in some ways. Yoshin Medic. This deck is a great example of why you never just write off the draft chaff cards of a format. Because this deck turns things on its head with what it cares about. Right? In this deck, the Yoshin Medic is a 4/4, and it has lifelink. And you know, I had trouble making room for the Ocean Medic here, but I think in a lot of the games I ended up playing that a lifelink creature was exactly what I wanted against, like, you know, Boros tokens and things like that. This would have been better than some of the other things I was playing at stabilizing the board, and then once I get down Bedrock Tortoise or Ancient Lumberknot, I can just start running away with the game with the huge life swings. So this is like a card that would be garbage that no one would ever consider for Standard until you got the right deck. And this is why I think you should always keep an open mind when you're deck building. I won't lie to you, the mana base was a little shaky. I changed up some things with some of the slow lands. I decided that some of the slow lands I wanted more than some of the fast lands. I didn't want things coming in tapped when I was trying to get down my 4-drops. So I experimented a little bit. This is the final version of the deck I'm going to post. So, is it great? Not at the moment, but maybe you can tinker with the list. Maybe you can find a way to put in a bit of creature tutoring. Some way that you can ensure that you draw the Bedrock Tortoise or the Ancient Lumberknot to increase the consistency of the deck. And if you do that, then I think you could have a very good deck on your hands. Anyway, like and subscribe, check out my other videos, and until next time, never stop honing your critical thinking and empathy.